turbines. And so when you match up, for example, again, the Health Canada data that I was talking about, up to 46 decibels, some of the other work that's been done by others up to 45 decibels, they actually line up and match up nicely. When you look at those, so I would suggest that the World Health Organization numbers are still as relevant today as they were when they were first published. And although we continue to collect new noise sources, we collect more data, there have been more research done, it does stand up to the test of time.
Okay, my next question is, you don't take into account that not everyone sleeps at night. There are shift workers, there are nurses, there are other professionals that have to sleep during the day. And you're, by your own admission, saying that it should be lower at night in order to make sure people get their sleep. So that, I just want to bring that up. I want to say in the Midwest and Texas, you're talking farms that are thousands of acres. You're not talking little bitty farms like there are here. The population areas are much, much more sparsely populated. You can't compare this rural area here to Texas or to the Midwest. And I still got another question.
Why don't we pause for a second?
Touch for 1 second on that. So you're right. There are lots of bigger parcels in states like Texas. But what is surprising to me is I've done a lot of work out there in some of these bigger Midwestern states. Is there are still smaller residential parcels that are near wind turbines, near meaning similar types of setbacks that are carved out of these larger parcels. So that you still have some of the same types of situations going on even out there.
Okay, my last question,
Sorry,
I promise.
Just very quickly though, on the nurses and the shift workers, absolutely right. I mean, not everybody sleeps at night, but again, the ambient sound level during the day tends to be a lot higher than it does at night. And if you have 45 at night, which is keeping everybody asleep, 45 during the day, we'll do the same thing.
I believe we're going for 35 at night, but
yeah, sorry.
My last question is, if 45 to 50 is supposed to be everybody's hunky-dory, can you tell me why the internet is flooded? And I mean flooded with complaints. Yeah. And it's right in our own area. I mean, it's right next door to us, and it's to the south of us. I mean, come on. If it didn't bother people, they aren't going to waste time complaining. They're not going to abandon their homes. They're not going to take less than their property value just to get away. I mean, let's be honest here. There are definite impacts.
So where I would start with that is that, as I said earlier in the presentation, not every wind project was designed properly in the past. Are there wind projects that are too close to people's homes, that are too loud, that are out of compliance? I know that there are. Okay, so hear me out for a sec, okay? So I'm not standing here saying go ahead and do whatever you want. Right? That's not what we're saying. We're saying you look at the science and that. I'm not going to speak to the property value thing. That's not my area of expertise where I should be speaking of. But in terms of, when you say flooded with complaints, again, there's 50,000 turbines up in the U.S., the vast majority in rural areas. And when I say rural, exactly communities just like yours here. Population density. If you look all over, when I say Midwest, you can go to Indiana, you can go to Illinois, like many other places just similar to this, where again, so am I saying that everybody's going to enjoy having a wind turbine next door to them? No, they may not. Okay, so when you're setting public health design goals, it's looking at the data, looking at the science. And again, there are people, and you know who they are. You read it on the internet who completely disagree with me. So but there are the vast majority of the jurisdictions are citing similar to what we're discussing.
But I believe Chattagay is 45 dBA.
I don't know.
But 45 dBA doesn't matter what the wind company is. It's the decibel level, correct? It doesn't matter.
That's right. Yeah, no, that's right.
Or it's APAC.
Yeah, no, it's the turbine and
45 dBA is 45 dBA. Yeah. And if there's widespread complaints at 45 dBA in Chattagay,
I can only not speak to Chattagay because I don't, like I've heard of it when I've been in your community, but I don't know how widespread it is.
And you've been pushing to the house, not property line. What if somebody wants to add on to their house? What if somebody wants to add on?
Can we not speak out of turn, please? We're asking one person at a time.
Everybody else gets to talk.
just want to reiterate a point that you made. You guys are paid to do your studies and do your reports by Iberdrola. Anyone who's taken even a simple elementary statistics class knows that when you look at statistics, there's different angles you can report on. So you guys are paid to report on the angle that is going to look the best for the wind company. And a case in point is, until Luke brought up that you only mentioned sleep disturbances for people who reported, you didn't even mention it. There are tons of studies that have nothing to do with turbines. There are across Europe, across the world, that show that sleep disturbance does not necessarily mean a person is even aware that they are disturbed. And that's what's happening with these turbines, correlating it with another study, that because of the sound with the wishing, how it's not rhythmic, it's not natural with your body, it's disturbing. The infrasound is disturbing, but not enough for people to always become wakeful. So why didn't you talk on those studies? Why did you only present the studies that were going to give Iberdrola the better life?
So, as I was explaining to the board, and you saw the studies I was putting up, I'm not manipulating any statistics. Yes, there's statistics and there's damn lies, right? I mean, there's all the things you can do to these. But what I was putting up was the Health Canada data, their studies, their reports. What I was putting up was the German state study. So in order to, I could pick a whole bunch of other studies and put them up there on various sides. But what I was trying to show to the board was, here are the studies that government-sponsored, government-run, government scientists doing them. And so that's where, not just cherry picking from various studies. And there are many of them.
I'm sorry to cut you off, but I know you're trying to use the answer. You mentioned Germany, but why didn't you also mention that Germany has a 35 dBA limit?
So
Or 10 times 100.
They
So,
don't. Germany does not have a 35 decibel limit. Germany is done by state and by local jurisdiction, and depending on where you are in Germany and where for example, the discussion of 10 times turbine height back, that is actually from town in one area of one state. So the German standards vary from 35 up to 45. It depends on where you are.
But
Similar
the
to
way
like
you
do in
presented
the
it,
US.
you didn't admit that there's some 35.
No, but we talked about that today. There
And
are
lastly,
jurisdictions
you
that have
mentioned that
35.
there's 45 around. There's a town already who has a 35 in this county, 35 dBA at night. Several other towns in New York, some Iberdrola is working with right now, or in the Article 10 process, are going for much lower than 45. So that, again, is a little bit skewed data, saying that everything or most of them are going for 45 when things right here in St. Lawrence County and our neighbor Jefferson County are 35.
Sorry, what I was suggesting was that the developers, the projects that I'm aware of in New York that are under development in the Article 10 process, the developers are proposing 45. I'm well aware that there are, again, as I was saying to the board earlier, it is a board decision. We talked about the standards range from 35 up to 50. And that's where the challenge is for the elected officials, for the government people to help set those numbers. I was just merely presenting to the board what I think that number should be. It's certainly, it's your appointed and elected officials to make that decision.
Debbie and Mac, please.
I just wanted to ask, are either of you associated with any university?
Yes, I hold adjunct professorship at the University of Toronto. I teach a graduate level course in environmental health every year there and co-supervise PhD and master's students. I also hold a adjunct professorship at the Royal Military College of Canada.
And do you have any research papers you've done yourself?
Yes, the first part of my presentation there, I put up the 6 peer-reviewed publications that I and colleagues have done on this issue specifically.
And who was it funded by? Was it grant-based research or was it funded by a corporation?
So all of that work that I put up there, it was actually as a consultant, what I had done was taken part of the fees out, so it wasn't any one specific company that was paying, it was just part of the overall being in the industry, working, so it was self-funded essentially. But candidly, the funds really, in order to self-fund it, the funds came from working both for the wind industry as well as, again, state and local government officials as well that I've worked with, so it's not just.
Duff in the back.
A quick one though. If the decibel count is over 35 or 45, whatever, if they go over that, not this 10% limbo they let them off on, they should be fined immediately when they break that decibel count, because that's their contract. I understand they weasel in and get a 10%. 10% of what? Over a year, a day, an
I know
hour?
what you're talking about, 10%.
L max.
If you're set at 35 or 45 and it comes in at 37, they should be fined at that point. They're over the decibel level. That's what-
Margin of error that he referred to, margin of error.
Yeah.
Okay. Another thing, nobody's mentioned the strobe lights and the nights and the bat kills. When do most birds migrate? You guys know?
Sir, I'm not a,
You don't
I'm not a
know?
bird guy.
You're building towers to kill them and you're an environmentalist?
Hey, Duff, come
I'm-
on.
No, my expertise is in health, there are others that specialize on the bird and bat side, I just don't.
Garnet.
Picture the scenario, if you will, and I'd like to show of hands, and from the presenters too. I bought this country lot, 5 acres in the country, farms all around me, as far as